Hello everybody. I'm loading this back up. I'm going back on the car. I'm gonna go look at a 74 Ford Bronco 302 car. We're gonna head down the highway from my house. Yes, this is my house. We're gonna from the highway down. Oh, you'll see when we get there. So enjoy the intro and I'll see you in just a second. I'll put up the map here of where we're going, and then follow along, and your manly man actions follow along. See you guys in a second. All right, welcome everybody. Here we go. We're gonna head down this road. She's in reverse. Ooh, seatbelts. Good job. So, car quiz today. I'll tell you what I found out about car quiz today and about Trans Am racing. It was crooked. So if a governing body was getting greased, I'm guessing, can't prove it, but I can. Oh, there goes my coffee cup. Hold on. Yep. Dumped my tea off the roof, all over everything. Oh well, too bad. It happened here first, kids. You see it. Is this thing not actually plugged in? Ah. Interesting. So, let's try this. Oh, battery's doing weird stuff now. All right, we'll see. I mean, maybe we'll have sound, maybe we won't. Okay, here we go. So this is what I know. I know this much. I know I need sunglasses. And here's a pair right here. Let's try this. Okay, so we're gonna go out my neighborhood, normal neighborhood. All right, so here's what I know about Trans Am racing. Probably the same as any governing body of any racing, but back in the 70s and 60s, so the cubic inch limit was 305 cubes. So AMC had a 304, Chevy and Ford both had 302s. Chevy had a 305, but that wasn't until later. Chrysler de-stroked to 340, from what I understand. I think AMC had a 304, but Chrysler de-stroked to 340 to like 303 cubes or something like that, which it doesn't really work because Trans Am was pretty strict in their, what cubic inches had to be in like the factory car. So like a 302 Ford you get a 302 Chevy and a Camaro. You could get a 304 and an AMC, but could you get a 303 cubic inch or whatever, D-stroke 340 in a Challenger? Nope. So somewhere around, let's say 1969 or 70 or whatever, the rules changed. They upped the limit to, I think, 345 cubic inches. I think they increased it to. Well, miraculously, that eliminated another engine or two out of the stable. So all the guys racing in that same class with 304s and 302s, you can figure out who that is. All of a sudden the 340 and like the CUDA AAR, which is what that car was built for, or the Challenger TA with the 340, all of a sudden those things are all Trans Am cars. TA, wonder what that stands for. So anyway, now the 340 Chrysler is dominating Trans Am racing because Chevrolet can't throw in their LT1 350, 5 too many cubes. Ford can't throw in their Boss 351, 6 too many cubes, this many. So what do? They still beat everybody. You got the Boss 302 and you got the 302 with the solid lifters that they spun to the moon anyway. They're still whipping everybody. AMC built the 343 and the little Javelin, little AMX. So they're playing in it too. Trans Am racing is pretty awesome to watch. Those guys are whipping muscle cars. If you got muscle cars out there, go out and jump in, you Dodge boys, go out and jump in your Cuda, or go out and jump in your Challenger or something like that. Or you Chevy guys, go hop in your first gen Camaro. Or Mustang guys, go hop in your first gen Mustang. You know what I mean? Go hop in those things. Go hop in the second gen, whatever. Your Bullet Mustang, whatever, but with a small block, and go whip that thing around with drum brakes, or I guess they went to disc brakes later, but go whip that thing around like, you know, an animal. Now you know why most of those guys look like Popeye and they had a left leg that was huge, because they were banging gears and ripping the thing around without power steering in these uncomfortable cars that didn't handle very good, but they were like whipping them around. Pretty impressive. I'd have to go through the rule book and stuff and see for sure, but that's what I remember. I was really into that stuff for a while. It's pretty cool. I always liked Trans Am racing. But NASCAR did the same kind of sneaky stuff too, to eliminate other people from, you know, winning, having an upper hand. They, you know, you guys all know the stories. You've all heard them all. Anyway, we're hitting the Haleakalah Highway. So this is Makawao Avenue that I'm on. We just left through my town, Makawao. And this is Makawao Avenue. We're heading up Haleakalah Highway, which Haleakalah is the volcano, which is the house of the sun. We're not gonna go up there today. We're gonna go along the highway and head out towards a place called Hawaiian Homelands. Before we get there, let's get into the next thing. So, your new car quiz for the day. This has been bugging me. I need some of you Mopar guys. I know the difference, but I need you Mopar guys to educate us. Here's the deal. What is the difference between a Barracuda and a Cuda? That's it. That's all I want to know. What's the difference? Okay, story time. Story time, story time, story time. Did I ever tell you about the time I got my driver's license in a 57 Chevy? I'll tell you why I'm bringing that up. So, here's the deal. I get asked all the time about this thing. Constantly. I get asked about this car, I get asked about driving this car all over the islands. You know, why do I drive it and stuff like that? Well, here's the reality. Until I got married, I didn't have a car that was newer than 1972, and most of the stuff I had was in the 40s and 50s anyway. Some 60s stuff, some 20s, and some 30s. But that's mostly what I had. So for me, this is way more normal than, say, driving my wife's 4Runner. Yeah, it's true, the first new car I bought was a 2013 WRX. Yeah, I wanted one of those little 300 horse bad boys all-wheel drive. It was a fun little go-kart to play around, but my wife liked it. And she wanted a Tacoma, so we did that instead. And then I had some choppers, some old pan heads and shovel heads and bikes and stuff like that in between after I got rid of my coupe. So, driving this around goes back to the first time I ever drove 57, which I drove it myself. I got my driver's license. So I was 16 and I just turned 16. And we had a red and white 57 Chevy that my dad bought, a 4-door Bel Air. I loved that car. It was silver when we got it. Need a lot of work. I told you guys about it. But it was a real Bel Air 4-door. We had some new old stock cloud pattern interior done, painted it Matador red, but we couldn't find 57 Matador red, so we went 68 Matador red, which is slightly more reddish than orangey red. If you guys know what I'm talking about. It's slightly more blue than red. Anyway, but it has Matador red and it was the white top. It's a good looking car. Had chrome reverse, 14s on it. For a while we had the stock wheels with white walls and hubcaps, then we did beauty rims or baby moons. My dad had the baby moons on his 61 Chevy, I think, right in high school or after high school. He kept them all those years. And then we got some chrome reverse 14-inch Steelies that we put the baby moons on. And for those of you guys don't know what baby moons are, The original Baby Moons didn't fit inside the wheel. They fit outside like a dog days hubcap. They were just a dog days that was smooth and chrome, so they were called Baby Moons. There's some more automotive history trivia. A chrome reverse rim is, so there's a short and a long side of a rim. The short side's the side that you mount everything on. The long side's usually the back side. Well, what they did was they took the center out and reversed it so it looked deeper than it really was. Because if you look at the back of a rim, it looks kind of deep. It's got more of a flat bead area. So you reverse that around and have it chrome. It looks pretty cool. Anyway, we have those on the 5.7. The grill bar is broken. This car is not, but it had a broken grill bar, so we used a canvas water bag to cover it. If you guys know what that is, the old days, instead of having a canteen, they had a rope and they had a canvas water bag for a lot of cars that were in the desert. So you filled the water bag up with water and you carried it in the front and it stayed cool. It also it dripped, it leaked a little bit, which would cool the radiator as you were driving at speed, but it was also used to fill the radiator in case the car was overheating. Little trivia. So we had one of those, and we had a window air conditioner, which is basically a squirrel cage with canvas in it, or like burlap, and it was half full of water, and you pulled on it, and it blew cold air, like a swamp cooler, essentially. Had one of those on that car. So this is in Reno, and I was 16, and we show up at the DMV, and the DMV guy comes out to go for a ride, and he looks at the car and he goes, "All right, let's go cruising." I knew right then and there that I had passed my driver's test. And instead of getting 100 points, the guy gave me a 98. He knocked me down 2 points because it said I was doing a couple miles an hour too fast over this certain section of bridge. And I was like, I was at my speedometer at that time. These old cars would bounce around. So the speed limit was 35, so I kept it between 30 and 40. Now they just sit there and bounce. He said I was doing 32 and a 35, and he marked me down for going too slow. And I asked him, "How did you know?" And he said, "Well, he knows how long it is to count between one end of the bridge, the other end of the bridge, the reflectors. There's like a reflector at the end of the bridge, and he knew to count that." And I didn't see him looking at his stopwatch. Anyway, don't matter. So what? So I got 2 points off on my driver's test. But that was it. Anyway, it was a good time. I miss that old 57. It was a pretty cool car. That's part of why I want to have this car back to mostly original inside, because I really but I really enjoy it's just super cool. All the back in those days, we hadn't gone to the moon yet, and so everything was like rockets and, envisioning stuff like the Jetsons or things like that. Like, what was it going to be like in space and the moon and all sorts of stuff. So that's what we were looking at, was that. And so I don't know what that guy's doing. I think he's high. So we looked at that. That was it. Like, the inside of the dash is cool. The upholstery, if you've ever seen them, looks like clouds. They called it a cloud pattern. It was like black, and it had like the threads were sewn around it to look like clouds. And they had like gold pit piping and some vinyl that was ribbed, and real cool patterns for the Bel Air. The 150, not so much. It was probably just a plain vinyl seat. I think some of them had like half vinyl, half just standard cloth. Nothing real fancy, but every model from the 150, 210, and Bel Air, depending on the color of the car and the color of the interior, had different, patterns of the upholstery. And they were super cool. That kind of stuff was real cool. The dash, the gauges, you guys have all seen them. The steering column, even the turn signal switch with this little knob on the end, which I have on my keys, actually. A buddy of mine made me, took a turn signal switch and made me a keychain. And my other buddy Brian made me a hook, Maui hook. That's out of koa wood, actually. Which is like a local tree here that's pretty cool. They used to make canoes out of koa wood. It's beautiful wood. It's almost like a walnut, but it's darker and it's beautiful. It's gorgeous. Well, you see it. You saw what it looks like. That's just clear coated. He carved that with his hands, and he sanded it. It's pretty cool. He's also fixing my surfboard. let's see. Yeah, that was it. So got my driver's license in a 57. So of the Tri-5 Chevys, a 57 is gonna probably always be my favorite. I wish that car had been a two-door. And I wish my parents, actually I wish I would have been smarter as a younger kid and not such a screw up. I probably could have inherited or bought that car or something for my parents and kept it all these years. But then I wouldn't have had 100 and some odd old hot rods that led up to this thing. So I can't really say, you know, anyway, you guys know what I'm getting at. It's good hanging out with you guys. I'm gonna go back and edit this. But in the meantime, enjoy this drive. I'm really hoping this mic actually works this time. I think I set it up. The lights are on. Oh, speaking of setup and lights are on, do you remember my live show I did with that Destroyer 1320? His name's Eric. So he's got this Challenger, and he figured out, he actually invented it. You need to go check out his website. Check out his channel, check out his website. He invented so apparently these Challengers are really easy to steal. You just pull part of I think the coin thing up in the console right next to the shifter. You pull that up, you can like stick your hand in there and pop the shifter in neutral and steal one of those cars in a matter of like 8 seconds or less. Just roll the car down the street and it's good to go. I don't think Chrysler knew that's what was going to happen, or they thought about that, but he invented a plate you pull like the console part up and the coin purse thing or whatever, and you put this little plate on and it blocks it to where no matter how hard a thief tries, he can't get in there and pop it off. It's a simple little plate with some screws. I mean, heck of a smart guy. Eric, you're a pretty smart guy. I'm proud of you, buddy. I hope I'll link to his website. I'll put up like the picture of the stuff in this thing so you guys can see it. But that type of stuff, that's the type of ingenuity, and that's what hot rodding's all about. It's taking something that's stock and making it better, and then the next year the manufacturers go, oh well, the street R&D'd it for us, so we need to put that on next year. What happened to that? They're not doing that so much anymore. Boy, that truck is hauling balls. We're doing probably 50, and he is leaving me in the dust on a 45-mile-an-hour highway. That dump truck is leaving me. Yes, I could catch him. No, I'm not gonna. Oh, speaking of which, I filled this thing up today. And I thought I'd used a whole bunch of gas over the weekend and messing around. 5 gallons. I did keep my foot out of it and didn't make it go into boost that whole weekend. It was really sad, kind of boring. Sure is beautiful up here. We're probably about 4,000 feet elevation. Don't know if you guys can see out there. Let me see if I can spin this thing around enough so you guys can see. Ow. That's probably gonna show this camera's gonna show the sides. Here, I'll spin you guys around. Here, disappear. Go look over there. You guys see that? I'll let you guys just stare out at the sky for a while. You don't need to look at me. It's very beautiful up here. I don't know if you can see it. There's just a corner of an island over there in the distance. We used to bomb that. It's called Ko'olave. It was bombed clear up into the 80s. They used to do bombing runs. There's a bunch of unexploded ordnance over there. That's why you can't go visit it. It also has like a bay where where a bunch of slippers are, flip-flops, like this stuff is all over the place over there, everywhere. There's like, I guess everything floats over there and hides in that corner. All right, here we go. Lauie Drive. All right, I'm heading down into Hawaiian Homes. I'll tell you guys all about this stuff at a different time, because Hawaiian Homes is interesting. So Hawaiian Homes is an area where, hold on, let me find this address. Hold on a second. You guys can stare out at the island there for a second. Hold on a second. Going to Derek's house. Hold on, Derek. What's your address? So anyway, Hawaiian Homes. I don't really understand how to describe it. So this is Hawaii, right? Island of Hawaii, and somehow the United States government decided that they were gonna just give land, sections of land back to the Hawaiians, who like they have to trace back, like it's a certain amount of blood in there, like quarter Hawaiian or eighth Hawaiian or something like that. They have to be able to prove it, and then it goes into like a lottery, and then families get, I think they get a parcel in this giant parcel to build their house on, but I think they get it for like $1 a year or something, which is a real bargain, and it's really cool, but it doesn't make any sense how the United States is giving back Hawaiian property. I don't get that. But anyway, that's not for me to understand or decide, but this place is beautiful, and Derek is going to be sending me his address here any second. But it is gorgeous here. That island over there, so this is like the Peanut. That's Kihei down there, you can see it in the middle. And then that's the Poly, that's the highway way around there, around the point where I got in that thing with the coupe. And then over there, that is the island of Lanai. There's only 2,400 people live on there, and everybody lives up top. And then the other island over, you can't see on the other side of the West Maui Mountains over there, is Molokai, and it has like 8,700 people, and they all live down around the edge. There's also a big, I think I told you about it, there's also a big colony down there on one side of a leper colony, which actually is still legitimate. You have to be invited down there. You can't just, I mean, there's like you can take like a mule train down the side of this cliff, which is kind of cool, but you got to be invited to actually go down into the town. Derek, what's your address? Got it. Okay, I'm not gonna show you guys anymore. All right, I'll see you guys later. Have a fantastic weekend, or rest of the week. I don't even know what day it is. I was surfing all day, I got a lot of sun. So blame me there, blame the sun. See you guys later, aloha.